Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at 6 runway models versus 1 fake model by popular demand. I've gotten so many requests to look at this. It's by Jubilee and I think you already know how this works, so let's just get into it.
Agency manager, anything like that? Okay, cool. For how long?
I'm coming, it's almost 4.
If I was like, am I a runway model? Am I a model? These other people are gorgeous. They're beautiful. I mean, Ty, I'm pregnant already.
Did you ever think that maybe there's more to life than being really ridiculously good looking?
How tall are we?
I'm 5'6.5".
I'm 5'10".
I'm 5'5.5".
5'5".
5'9". I'm 6 foot.
6'2".
5'9". Just want to say immediately, I'm kind
He's
of
6'2" and the girl next to him is 5'9". They look the same height.
And I've been
Is she wearing 3 inch
for being
heels?
too short.
4
I
inch
think it's a
heels?
difference on the runway you do. If it's like super high fashion, Milan, New York, sometimes they're much more strict, bring to the table. I mean, you can be pretty, but also there are many people who, aren't necessarily pretty to other people.
No, that's not how it works. In runway, it's still very much dependent on the height. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. It's dependent on height. Oh, well, actually, not just height, but also the look. And I think I'm 90% sure she is a model. She just has the look, very strong dentofacial structure, very strong bone structure, very much the Model-esque look, and a lot of those Model-esque features. I also think he's the model because Jubilee likes to do this thing where they just get the least, the person you would least expect, and they're always the model. So they're never the odd one out, and that's why I think he's the model as well. I think she, and him and her are models, but I don't think she's the model, even though she's wearing heels and she's quite tall, but I just don't think she has the face for it. Okay, I'll just turn it down to normal speed.
She was a little bit shorter, which doesn't really mean anything, but for me, that was like red flags.
Good luck, y'all.
No, she's definitely a model. She's got the look.
It's that face, honey. It's the face, honey. Talk about face is not important. Yes, it is.
Give us the beats.
Yeah.
Where? Okay,
She's so
absolutely. Okay, no. All opinions canceled. Shardy can walk.
Personally, I think I had the best walk.
Go, 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 go. Giving us LA models. Giving us Vision Modeling Agency. Hey, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
boom,
that's what.
boom,
Look at her
boom,
walk.
boom, boom, boom.
There's certain elements to the walk, and it's just so funny to me that when people think of runway modeling, when people think of modeling just in general, the first thing they think of is the modeling walk. Whereas in the industry, it's just such a big industry. There's runways like less than 5% of the actual revenue that comes in, and it's like less than 5% of booked jobs. So it's such a small part of the industry, but it's the most salient. It's the most noticeable part of the industry. That's what everyone cares about. It's just funny to me. So when you look at a walk, there's definitely no hip sway, and if you compare that to the shorter girl,
Absolutely. Okay,
a lot
no.
more hip sway. Look at how
All
she sways her
opinions
shoulders.
canceled.
Sorry, keeps
Shardy
the shoulders
can
straight
walk.
but sways her hips.
Personally, I think I had the best.
And then this lady,
Hey,
also,
boom,
there's no
boom,
sway. It's just like a normal person
boom,
walking.
boom, 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 boom.
Also, I don't think she has the modeling look. She has severe prognatism, and that, an underbite in this case. And for other reasons, she does have some other dentofacial issues that I think when you compare that to all the other faces here, all of them have perfect dentofacial growth, very strong features, very developed features, and there's no cosmetic issues. But even with her, they're both African. There was another African lady, I think she was mixed, but they all have very strong dentofacial growth, very strong features. Whereas she has a couple of prognatisms and malocclusions, so jaw issues that you generally wouldn't see in the industry. And that doesn't mean you can't be a model, but when you have 1,000 people that want to be models, they're obviously going to pick the ones with the least amount of cosmetic concerns. And underbite, that's a very significant cosmetic concern. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. Anyway.
Boom, boom, boom. They're gonna roast me
Just look at her jaw. Perfectly aligned with the forehead, upper and lower jaw, perfectly aligned, very strong jawline. 100% a model. But the other lady, the one before, she had some facial convexity, so her mid face was a bit sunken in. Actually, why don't I just show you? So her mid face is a bit sunken in, and that causes the eyes to start to droop a bit more. It's a cosmetic concern, something a lot of people do get corrected. Is that any better? Oh yeah, actually here. And yeah, I think it's very apparent now. If you draw a line from here to mid face to the jaw, you can start to see how the line would be posteriorly positioned, so it'd be starting to slope backwards. That's not something you see with any of the other faces, and especially her, very strong dentofacial growth, very attractive modeling face, 100%. You can imagine why she'd get in. The shorter lady, she's 5'5", but Jubilee likes to do this thing where they get the person you'd least expect. To me, it's not the person, that doesn't fool me at all, because I have plenty of experience in the industry. I know exactly how it works. And it is somewhat dependent on the face, just because you have so much option.
Period. Yes. Absolutely.
Let's talk shows. What
That guy could just not walk at all, and people would still be convinced he's a model. He's just got the look, and a part of the look is just strong dentofacial bone development. I think that's the easiest way I can explain it.
shows have we been in?
I did it was called Cornet Fashion Week. It was like about okay, for sure.
Yeah.
So we're good. Yeah, so I did Cornet Fashion Week beginning of November. I walked for 5 designers, actually 4, because I got kicked out of one of the shows.
It's not always about the booking.
No, I'm saying because I wasn't tall enough. Like it literally.
Give Sasha the chance. You might not be a typical runway model, but you said you do Macy's and Dillard's, and that's kind of like very, almost like geriatric modeling. Like anybody can do it. Like a grandma could walk those runways.
Yeah. George. George, thank you. Now I don't have to get cancelled for saying that. You can get cancelled.
So I was like, cool, that's runway experience.
Do you guys think that this would be based on a technicality? Because we all seem like we have some runway experience.
I mean, not to be a bit bold, but I think Aisha's sus.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna say the same thing. I feel bad. It's the height for me. I just since I've been kicked out and I'm like 5'9". Your walk isn't.
That's a valid point.
yeah,
That's a valid
insane.
point. But
Regardless, she needs to be booked.
Her story seemed a
I
bit
think
choppy.
people are
And
more
it kind of
willing
was a
to
bit back and
overlook
forth.
the height
Yes, there are opportunities
in
for
favor of the
shorter
face,
runway
and
models, but
that's just
I
a
don't
newer
think
trend that
there's
you see in
many
the industry.
opportunities, and I don't think that it's a standard yet.
Like anyone can practice a
when you
walk
look at the
and make it look
faces,
good.
I think
To be 5'5" and do
everyone's
runways
face
definitely
is
challenging.
attractive, except like when you see everyone's faces, everyone has a modeling look, and that's not to say that anybody's unattractive, but Sasha, she doesn't have the modeling look is the easiest way to explain it.
I love you, girl.
Please raise your hand if you want to continue playing the game.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Starting now, for every time all of you vote out someone who's not the mole, the total prize money will be reduced.
I mean, I only wanted to keep playing because I wanted to keep playing. I think we found them all.
Look at you!
And now we're getting deducted because.
I know, I didn't see that second part.
Like I found it really hard in this industry because I feel like they still have very white beauty standards. And, there's just the bringing your own makeup to set. People I never come with my hair natural.
Oh, that's actually a really big thing.
And I've had such a different.
So just to comment, I was going to make a video on this, but it's called aesthetic labor in the industry, and a good example is if you're a person of color, they often don't have your makeup shade because they only bring it for the because when you think about it, they've got models from white all the way to dark, and they generally seem to preferentialize. Is that a word? They generally seem to prefer bringing makeup for the whiter models in the whiter shades than for the darker models. So if you're really at the far ends of the spectrum, they won't have your makeup shade. So in that case, you need to get it done at home, even though the client is paying for a what's it called? A makeup artist. You can't take any benefit from that because they don't have your shade. Same thing with hair. African hair, it's hard to deal with. Not everyone can deal with it. Not everyone knows how to treat it. So again, a lot of African models do have to get it done at home. And this is something I've seen and it's quite well documented. It's nothing new, but it's pretty impressive that she mentioned that. So maybe I'm not so confident anymore. maybe she does have some kind of experience.
Different like juxtaposition now that I kind of have made the decision for myself that I was going to show up as myself, and so the natural hair is just non-negotiable.
I forget who's signed.
I'm signed to an agency.
Who are you with? Everyone?
She was way
I'm with
too
a
quick with the
focus model.
answer.
I'm with LA Models.
Okay.
I'm with Nomad Management, Ferrari Talents, a commercial, and then I have another agent in New York.
Coco
She was
Rocha.
very quick with that answer.
Model tip too.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward the video just a bit in the interest of keeping things short. Let's see who they come up with. Oh,
We counted all the votes and we have a tie. Dakota and Sasha. Each of you has 20 seconds to state your case.
So, like I said, I'm from Vegas, so fashion show malls where I got my start. I love modeling, I love runway, even though it's
just to put my 2 cents out there, I think the biggest giveaway between all of the models is probably the walk, because if we're talking about runway modeling, that is something that you would need to know. And I think Sasha's walk was by far the most regular. And when what's his name, George, I think, said something about geriatric modeling, that's kind of the impression it gave me as well. It's just it's more like lifestyle modeling, where it's, you know, it's kind of like a regular person. They want regular looking people. They don't want a like model tear face. They don't want those extreme dentofacial growth or bone structure like the other shorter lady whose name I forgot. But, you know, I think you're starting to get the point in what they're looking for.
what challenges me. It's that connection, it's that, you know, being able to share it with a loved one that really drives it for me.
I've been modeling for 4 years since I was 16. I have done a lot of traveling for modeling. I've been to Beijing, Thailand. I've met with agencies in Tokyo. I've been to New York. I've been to Mexico City, here obviously. I've met with agencies in Miami. I've been in this industry for a long time.
It's interesting to think, Dakota, what's the reasoning?
If the lights turn green, that means you have voted the mole out. If the lights turn red, that means the mole is still in the box and you lose. Now, can the mole please step forward and reveal themselves? In 3, 2, 1.
I knew it.
George knew it.
Y'all
Get
shouldn't have
it,
voted
George.
for me.
Sasha was the tallest one there, and she was great. And she had a great walk, and she looks awesome. So
She did
would've
not
been
have a
either my
great walk.
last or my
She did
second to
not.
last pick.
I think my height
her walk
saved
was
me,
not very good.
honestly. There is that still like that preconceived notion of what a model looks like, and I think that this episode really emphasizes that we do have a long way to go.
I definitely believe that she could model, but the walk was a little off for me.
Tell it, George. All right, so there we have it. Let's look at the comments really quickly. Lying is part of the game. Who is Tyler to tell someone what their story is? Tyler made everyone very uncomfortable for nothing. Yeah, I guess. I mean, sure. Isa is one of the prettiest people I've ever seen. Girl, you don't need a runway to validate you when you look like that. That's pretty funny. I think for a lot of people, the runway is the highest form of beauty validation. I can see where the idea comes from. For me, I think editorial in a big magazine would be far more validating than walking the runway, because for the runway, it's more so just height-based, but you know, there is an emphasis of the face as well. But for editorial, it's more so face-based and less so based on your height, because the works that editorials do generally don't need you to be standing up straight like a thin stick. Now, I feel bad for Isa being voted out just for her height when she was clearly a model by the way she carried herself and walked. I think there was this other video I saw. I think it's the one where they compare Instagram models to actual models or like runway models, and everyone just has this impression that models just carried themselves as some kind of elite superhumans, you know, the superhuman group who just carry themselves with grace and dignity and elegance. I don't know if I can't really say that's true, just having worked in the industry, having met many people. I wouldn't say that's entirely true, but that's the impression that people get when it comes to runway modeling. And I think that's the impression that they were using to judge these characters. And so that's probably why I think Sasha did carry herself quite well, even though she wasn't the model, she was the mole. That's probably the way that people are looking at it. That's just my guess. I'm glad that Sasha won. These models are so up there and stuck in their own ways. No, that's not true at all. I thought they were quite grounded. Dakota was a bit annoying, but I think I can't believe Dakota is an actual runway model with that awful walk. Oh, hang on, let's just look at her walk.
Go, 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 go,
Oh,
go,
I
go.
see.
Giving us LA
I see.
models.
Okay, well, yeah, okay. So
Go,
see how her
go,
shoulders
go.
go up and
Giving us LA
down? And why is she doing that thing with her hips? Like she's like bending her hips down, her back like downwards, like she's a slinky.
models.
And
Giving us
that,
vision
you know, that little jump at the end there, it's kind of like she's skipping. Just look at it one more time.
Go, go, go. Giving us LA models. Giving us vision
Yeah, it just looks like she's skipping, and it's not the best walk, but it's. I think Sasha's walk is worse. So
Hey, boom,
yeah,
boom, boom,
Sasha's
boom,
walk has
boom,
nothing.
boom, 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 boom.
It has no
I didn't think my
flair
walk was
to
too
it, right?
good. I definitely let nerves get the best of me.
Oh, she was nervous. Fair enough. Fair enough. She was nervous. But anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you all for joining me. As always, let me know what you want me to look at next, and I'll cover it.